Welcome to the very first episode of this podcast, Women Speaking. Today, I want to talk about a character who has been judged, criticized, and misunderstood for years. A character many people reduce to sex, when to me, she represents something much deeper. Today, I want to talk about Samantha Jones. Yes, the character of the iconic series Sex and the City. When most people think about Samantha, they think about a woman who talks openly about sex, who has multiple relationships, and who doesn't seem too concerned about what other people think of her. But to me, Samantha was never the character just about sex. She was the character about freedom. And I think that's exactly why so many people love her and so many others are uncomfortable with her. Because Samantha doesn't ask for permission. She doesn't ask for permission to dress the way she wants. She doesn't ask for permission to express desire. She doesn't ask for permission to speak her mind. She doesn't ask for permission to take up space. And that, especially when it comes to women, still makes a lot of people uncomfortable. From a very young age, many of us are taught an endless list of things we should and shouldn't do. You shouldn't dress like that. You shouldn't talk about that. You shouldn't date that person. You shouldn't be so outspoken. You shouldn't be so ambitious. You shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't enjoy your freedom too much. And when someone steps outside those rules, the comments begin. The criticism, the judgment, the labels. What's interesting is that the people making those judgments usually won't have to live with the consequences of our choices. They won't live our lives. They won't walk in our shoes. And yet, they often feel entitled to tell us how we should live. One of the ideas I've always struggled with is the belief that women need to be rescued. The idea that we're incomplete until we find a partner. The idea that someone else is supposed to give our lives meaning. I've never liked that idea. I'm not half of a person, and neither are you. A relationship can bring love, companionship, and beautiful experiences, but it shouldn't be the thing that determines our worth, because our worth exists before any relationship begins, and it remains after any relationship ends. That's one of the reasons I admire Samantha so much. She never seems to be waiting for someone to come along and save her. She makes mistakes. She has insecurities, like all of us. She experiences heartbreak. She feels fear. But she remains her own person. And maybe that's what I admire most about her. Not her dating life, not her relationships, not her adventures, but her ability to live according to her own rules. Because true freedom isn't about doing whatever you want without consequences. It's about having the courage to decide who you are without becoming a prisoner of other people's expectations. Like on that iconic phrase she once said, "Honey, if I worry what every bitch on New York City was saying about me, I've never lived the house." And maybe that's the most important lesson Samantha ever taught me. Freedom has a price. There will always be people who judge you. There will always be people who disagree with your choices. There will always be people who think they know what's best for your life. But living according to someone else's expectations is far more expensive than dealing with their opinions. And if there's one thing Samantha Jones understood, it's that your life belongs to you, not to society, not to your family, not to your friends, not to the people who criticize you, but to you. And maybe that's why, all these years later, she remains one of the most fascinating characters ever written. Thank you for listening to this first episode. I'll see you in the next one.